Ayan, live.
Okay, good
Check
afternoon
test.
everyone, Noah. So, hope every one of you is okay. Noah, patuloy tayo nagpapalakas ng ating immune system and patuloy tayong uh, nagiging productive this quarantine season. So, this very day, this afternoon, we're gonna launch yung tinatawag natin na NOAA series. Ano ibig sabihin ng NOAA series? Parang play of words siya na Noah should know. Dapat tayo, bawat isa sa atin, alam natin yung nangyayari, alam natin yung mga updates sa mga nangyayari sa buhay natin. And for now, we have our very first guest. Actually, hindi nga siya guest. Our speaker for this afternoon, siya yung most of us nga, sabi ko nga kanina, most of us know that he is a good disciple maker. But hindi natin alam, even in his field, he is also an excellent uh, teacher and also a registered medical technologist. So, welcome po nating lahat si Jomar Adams Ganding, a registered medical technologist, uh, professor of Trinity University of Asia, and also, important na calling niya is a disciple maker to teach us kung ano nga ba yung ano natin, yung COVID-19. So, Facebook user, sino ka magpakilala ka? Hindi pa namin nakikita yung pangalan mo. So,
I think si
take it
Kuya
away, Joms.
Ans. Okay.
Si Ant, si Ant
So,
yan. Okay.
apo. So, good afternoon everyone. So, ayun nga, welcome to
Yeah.
our first online series regarding NOAA series. So, right now, it's very important na lahat ng bagay na ginagawa natin is actually based on facts. Okay? It's
Yeah.
actually based
That's
on
good.
facts. And lagi ang sinasabi natin na it's not only about faith most of the time, but faith with wisdom is the best weapon that we can have,
Hmm.
especially right now. So, I would like to welcome each and every one of you to our
Yeah.
um Noah series right now. So I just want to welcome everyone. And one thing that I always tell everyone na tinuturuan ko, na nakakausap ko, learning is actually one thing that we can enjoy. And I hope to this
Oh, that's
afternoon
good.
you will actually be enjoying what you will be learning
Mm-hmm.
today. So ano nga ba yung pag-uusapan natin this afternoon? So we will actually be talking about COVID-19, and not only
Okay.
knowing, but we will actually try to understand what is COVID-19. So, ang
Okay. Thank
gagawin
you,
natin
Joms.
this afternoon is to actually
Yeah.
understand what is COVID-19. Ayan tayo.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Joms. So, gusto ko yung sinabi mo kanina, no? Mga anak, and especially mga guests natin. Gusto ko sinabi ni Joms kanina na dapat bilang mga Kristiyano, bilang mga disciples, hindi lang tayo puro faith. Of course, faith is good, but also we need facts. We need yung mga katotohanan na kailangan nating tama yan. That's faith plus wisdom. Kailangan natin yan, especially this season. So, Joms, pwede mo ba kaming bigyan ng, alam namin, medyo technical tong mga terms na gagamitin mo, no? Yung
Mm-mm.
mga ituturo mo na terms, pero pwede mo kaming bigyan ba ng konting background regarding dito sa COVID-19?
Okay, so this afternoon, para mas maintindihan natin kung ano nga ba yung COVID-19, I'll show you, we will go through our, yan, so hello ako. So what we're going to do is to go through the history of SARS-CoV-2.
Mm.
Pangalawa, we will be discussing what COVID-19 is, yung transmission niya,
Mm.
yung symptoms and the diagnosis. And of course, what is the real facts when it comes to COVID-19 right now here in the
Mm.
Philippines. And aside from that,
Yeah.
ito siguro yung isa sa pinaka-important na kailangan natin pag-usapan eh. It's all about the prevention of
Wow.
COVID-19.
Okay.
So,
That's good.
I'll go straight na po sa pag-uusapan natin
Yeah.
ngayong hapon. So, for the
Pero
history
curious
of...
lang ako, John, no?
Yes, Tay.
Yung regarding dyan sa SARS, ibig sabihin yung SARS is, can you please differentiate or explain ano yung relation nitong SARS? Kasi most of us, alam ko, sa mga nanonood sa atin, no, most of us are familiar with SARS, yung Severe Acute
Yes.
Respiratory
Mm-mm.
Syndrome. Pero, can you please explain to us yung ano yung relation niya when it comes to this COVID-19 na pandemic natin yan?
Okay, so siguro some of you already have heard yung SARS na lumitaw sa China early 2003. So, let me
Yeah.
now differentiate to you ano nga ba yung SARS-CoV-2 at ano yung COVID-19. So,
Yeah.
SARS-CoV-2, which is your Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2, is actually the
Oh, that's
virus.
coronavirus.
Yes po.
Yeah.
Your
Okay.
COV is coronavirus. So, technically,
Mm.
coronavirus is a group of viruses. These are family of
Mm.
viruses. And your SARS-CoV-1, your MERS-CoV, and your
Mm.
SARS-CoV-2 all belongs to your coronavirus. So, sila yung nagkukos, sila yung mismong virus that causes your
Mm.
COVID-19. Your COVID-19, on
So
the
in
other
layman's
hand,
term, okay, go ahead. So in layman's term, Jones, parang tama ba yun? Magkakapatid silang virus. Under
yes
sila,
po.
ang apelyido nila is SARS. Tama ba yun?
Ang apelyido nila technically po is coronavirus po.
Coronavirus. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Sige, sige.
So,
Go ahead.
SARS-CoV, yan, si MERS-CoV, all of them are coming from the same family, which is coronavirus. So, technically, iba-iba lang po sila ng strain, but all of them belongs to coronavirus. So, having said that,
Mm.
your coronaviruses actually causes different types of a wide range of illnesses. So, from common colds, from common cough, they are actually being caused by coronaviruses. Nagkataon
Mm.
lang po na what we have
Oh.
right now, your SARS-CoV-2 is actually the one that causes your COVID-19, or also known, pagpapahabain natin, that is your coronavirus disease 2019. So, I
Oh.
want us to be clear na iba yung COVID-19, iba yung SARS-CoV-2, in a
Mm.
sense na yung SARS-CoV-2, that is actually the virus that causes it, and your COVID-19 is actually the disease being caused. So yun po yun
Oh.
yung pinagkaiba nilang dalawa. So I hope mas maging clear so that when we are using these terms, mas maayos po natin siyang magagamit so that we're not also causing confusion and um
Mm.
fear sa ibang tao. So,
Here.
that is when
Ah,
it
that's
comes to
good.
SARS-CoV-2 and COVID-19. I hope it's very clear na SARS-CoV-2 is the causative
Mm.
agent and COVID-19 is the actual disease that we are experiencing. So, what about SARS-CoV-2? So, a quick history. So, I am providing
Yeah,
you
go ahead,
a
John.
a layman a layperson understanding about coronavirus. So technically, coronaviruses are a large family of viruses. So they have different strains. And kung mapapansin nyo nga po, 'di ba, taon-taon we magtataka kayo, bakit kaya nagkaroon na ako ng flu nung 2019? Ngayong 2020 magkakaroon possible ulit ako magkaroon
Mm.
ng flu because there are different
Yeah.
strains. Marami po siyang strains. So common colds,
Wow.
common cough, and your common flu, those are being caused by coronavirus. But on the other hand,
Mm.
there are actually more serious respiratory ailments that can be caused by your coronavirus. Gaya nga po nung MERS-CoV and nung SARS-CoV
Mm.
that has been
Immerse and
reported
start ko.
sa atin. And right now, meron na naman silang panibagong kapatid, which is what we know right now as your SARS coronavirus 2. So, ayan yung,
So, siya si COVID-19.
yes po, siya yung nagkakos ng
Ah, okay.
COVID-19. So, ayan, I am providing you a picture right now. These are microscopic images of your coronavirus. So, siguro, nice thing to know, your coronavirus, kaya siya tinawag na coronavirus, are because of those glycoprotein spikes. Kung mapapansin nyo po, I hope you can see it. Can you see it
Oh.
in your screen? Ayan, so makikita
Yeah.
nyo na para siyang
You
may
can
corona
maximize the screen
talaga.
for them.
Ayan, so makikita nyo talaga na
Yeah, that's good.
meron siyang crown-like
Corona.
appearance. Yes. That's the reason why sinasabi nila na coronavirus siya because
Oh,
dun sa pangalan pa lang niya, makikita mo na talaga na meron po
may
siyang
corona
mga
talaga siya.
crowns. Yes. So,
Okay.
to give you more information about SARS-CoV, sabi ko nga po kanina, may nauna na siyang kapatid. Yun yung SARS na nakita natin sa Southern China as well nung 2003.
Hmm.
So, aside
Yes.
from that, that is your severe acute respiratory syndrome. So, we also have your MERS-CoV, also known as your
First
Middle
ko.
East Respiratory Syndrome coronavirus, which was seen in Saudi Arabia
Hmm.
in 2012. And now, what we
Hmm.
have is actually your SARS coronavirus 2 that was first
Hmm.
seen in Wuhan City, Hubei, China in December 2019. So kung mapapansin nyo po,
Okay.
most of these viruses are actually coming from China. So we're not trying to be
Mm.
racist here, but China kasi is very much known to have to be consuming your wildlife. So they are actually consuming
Oh.
wildlife. Yes po. That's the reason why yung mga
Okay.
viruses that are usually seen in your animals are being passed or being transmitted to
Okay.
us humans. So yung SARS-CoV
So may
nga po
tanong
na
ako, John. Okay. Sige, may tanong lang ako for some of us na
Yes
maybe
po.
nagtataka sila na paano na-transmit yung yung virus from animal, kasi di ba minsan may sinasabi sila na another species ng animal tapos napapasa sa into another species. Could
Yes
you
po.
take us through dun sa ganong klase na process? Paano siya na-transmit from other species to another species then papunta eventually sa mga tao?
Okay po. So, example natin siguro no is first one, we have yung nakikita niyo sa screen ninyo, we have your civet cat, we have your camel, and yung sinasabi nila ngayon na pinanggalingan ng SARS-CoV-2 is yung bat. So, how does it happen?
Yeah.
How does your virus is actually being transferred from your animal going now to your human? There are many possible scenario that could happen. Unang-una po, direct exposure or direct contact to animals
Mm.
that are infected with the virus. So technically, meron na yung animal, meron na siyang virus, tapos na-expose po yung mga tao.
Ah.
So that's one very common example. Aside from that, having mentioned na China is actually may market po sila ng wildlife whereby they can
I
actually
heard
eat
that. I
this
heard that.
wildlife. Ingestion of uncooked meat ng mga animals could also cause your transmission. So technically po,
Mm.
kapag nagkakaroon tayo tinatawag nga natin siya na ano na overspill. So technically,
Overspill.
yung
Overspill,
virus,
yes.
yes, overspill, yung galing sa yung virus na galing sa animal napapasa sa human.
Mm.
So, they can actually survive
Okay.
from
So I can,
animal to human host. Yes po.
yes, may question ako, Joms. For example, when you say na pag na-transmit siya sa other species to another one, doon nagaganap yung mutation, tama ba?
Yes po. Yung viruses are capable of mutation. We call it antigenic shift. So, technically
Mm.
po, parang ano siya yung principle na yung survival of the fittest. Our
Ah,
viruses
okay.
also want to survive. So what they will try to do is
Mm.
to survive in their new environment, in their new host,
Mm.
so to speak.
So technically, nag-mutate sila just to survive. So nagbabago sila ng, I think it's that protein content, something like that.
Um pwede kunwari kilala na ng katawan mo yung virus na yon. What they will try to do,
Ah.
parang ano yan parang tayo, 'di ba? Parang every day you go out of your house, pero para hindi kung gusto mong makilala ka nila in a new image, you try to change your
Yeah,
hair, you try
that's
to
good.
change your
That's good.
complexion, you try to change your clothes
Mm.
para hindi ka na ulit kilala agad-agad ng mga taong makakasalamuha mo.
Mm.
Ganon din po yung ginagawa ng mga viruses. They try to change their image, they try to mutate so that kapag pumasok sila sa isang host, hindi sila agad makikilala, makakapag-survive po sila.
Oh,
Yan.
okay. So, thank you very much, Joms. So, again, yung mga live viewers po natin, ako meron po kayong mga tanong, mga practical questions, or may mga technical terms po kayo na hindi naiintindihan dun sa discussion natin, you can put your comment down below so that ma-address po natin ni Professor Joms at matulungan po natin kayo, especially yung mga practical ways kung paano natin
Yes.
ma-prevent etong coronavirus. So, just go ahead, Joms, with your presentation.
Okay. So, moving on now sa ano natin. So, I provided you kumbaga, differentiation or comparison of your I can actually upload this to you so that you can read it. So
That's good.
technically,
We can
we're just
do
trying
that.
to compare what is SARS-CoV from what is MERS-CoV and what is COVID-19 or your SARS-CoV-2. So I'll be providing you this one. So there's a lot of technical terms here, but I will go through some of the details as we go on with this
Hmm.
discussion. So, a quick history.
Okay.
Kung hindi nyo po, if you're actually not aware, your SARS-CoV-2 was first reported in December 31, 2019. That's the reason why we're calling it COVID-19 because 2019 pa lang,
Hmm.
meron na po tayong cases ng ano. So to give you a quick run through of what happened, the first report that was actually reported by China to WHO was in December 31, 2019. So
Hmm.
what happened is actually hindi po nila alam kung ano yung they actually don't know what was happening at that time. There was actually a cluster
Ah.
of people na parang may flu-like symptoms sila and then they are actually responding differently. So in January 5, the WHO already issued a travel restriction. So kung mapapansin
Hmm.
nyo po, January 5 pa lang po. And actually, January 7, it was actually discovered that is a novel coronavirus. So what do we mean by novel? It is a new strain of coronavirus. So as early as January 7, we already know that there is already a new virus that is going on.
Ah,
So
okay.
yes po. So the first
So kaya
reported,
siya tinawag na novel
yes po, novel
kasi hindi pa nila
meaning,
alam.
yes,
Okay.
it is a new strain po.
Parang unknown. Ah, okay,
Yes,
that's
an
good.
unknown virus by
Hmm.
January 7. So the first reported death was actually in January 11. And actually
January
everyone was
11.
caught by surprise ng virus na ito because maybe you're wondering, January 7 pa pala alam na nila na merong ganitong
Hmm.
virus, but why is it that it actually spread to almost 198 countries right now? Kasi nga
Wow.
po, WHO issued a travel restriction but a lot of countries wala po silang ano wala po silang announcement pa regarding travel
Hmm.
restriction. So technically, nakapasok po sa continents nila yung mga possible patients natin
Hmm.
carrying your coronavirus. So,
Okay, Joms.
yes po.
Could you take us through ano yung tinatawag nilang incubation period? Or yung sinasabi nila na 14 days, what about it? Ano yung significance ng 14 days na yan?
Okay po. So, once you contracted a virus kasi, it will not manifest immediately. Okay? So, parang
Hmm.
sa lahat ng ginagawa natin, when you are trying to come up with a habit, with a culture, the product will not
Hmm.
eventually manifest in a snap of a finger. What happen is that
Hmm.
from time to time, it will try to adjust dun sa bago niyang environment. So, yun yung tinatawag po nating incubation period. So, technically, there are actually some literature na nagsasabi 2 to 14 days yung incubation period po nung ano natin, nung novel coronavirus natin or nung SARS-CoV-2 natin. So technically, during those
Hmm.
time, doon po tinitake over ng virus yung mga cells na ini-infect niya. So technically, doon po siya
Hmm.
nagpaparami, doon po siya
Yeah,
i-infect pa ng maraming cells. So,
that's a
sa
good
atin,
explanation.
yes po.
Yeah.
So, in our case sa Philippines, the first case was actually reported in January 30. So,
Hmm.
January 30 pa lang po meron na tayong reported case ng coronavirus.
Reported case.
Yes
Okay.
po. May first case na
So,
tayo
Joms,
ng
ano yung, okay, I have a question. So, during
yes
those
po.
14 days, so, kumbaga, si Virus, ang ginagawa ni Virus is that siya mismo nag-a-adjust siya dun sa panibago niyang host. Kasi
Yes
kung
po.
galing nga siya sa ibang, or kahit na tama ba yung sabihin, intra-species na siya, from human to human infection na siya, nag-mutate siya, I mean, nag-a-adjust siya dun sa new environment niya. How about yung human? Paano tayo nag-respond yung katawan natin during that season na nag-mutate yung virus inside dun sa body natin?
Okay po. So kung mapapansin niyo po 'di ba na yung yung katawan po natin may immune system din naman po siya. It has its own defense
Hmm.
mechanism against those
Ah.
viruses. One reason why 14 days din talaga yung ano yung incubation period. Your body is trying to cope up with the infection. Okay? So,
Hmm.
kung mapapansin nyo po, 'di ba, in reported cases in South Korea and even here in the Philippines, most of our patients na talagang merong severe cases, severe symptoms are actually the
Hmm.
elderly. So one
Ah,
good reason
okay.
on why is that yung immune system po nila is actually is actually um kumbaga mas mahina na po yung immune system nila as
Weaker.
compared to
Mm.
us na mga nasa early 20s, early 30s. So
Mm.
technically po their body can no longer cope up to the virus.
Mm.
So what happened po is that um ang nangyayari po dun sa katawan nila na naaano po sila na nako-compromise po. That dun na po ulit pumapasok yung other factors like hypertension, diabetes, yung mga comorbidities po na tinatawag natin. So,
Mm.
technically po, nakakapag-cope up naman po yung katawan natin. Technically po kasi ang viruses are self-limiting. Ibig pong sabihin nun,
Mm.
sometimes kaya po ng ubot sipon, 'di ba? Kahit hindi ka uminom ng gamot, minsan nawawala yung ubo at sipon mo because your body
Yeah.
can actually um
Mm.
overcome or cope up with those viruses. Ang
Mm.
problema lang po when it comes to our elderly, yung mga tinatawag nating high risk group, their immune system are already compromised or already low. So
Mm.
technically, kapag na-expose ka sa ganong virus, you cannot cope up or you cannot overcome the
Okay.
infection.
Okay. Thank you, John. So, bukod sa elderly, meron pa bang mga group of people na mas ano sila, mas at risk sila when it comes to this coronavirus?
Okay po. So going back now to what I was mentioning about immunocompromised. So anyone who is immunocompromised could be susceptible to your coronavirus. Kasi if you're going to look at statistics, sir, kuya, bakit po may mga patient tayo na
Mm.
age 19, 24, 35. Those are not
Mm.
elderly, in short. But those are people with technically compromised or weakened immune system at that time they contracted coronavirus kaya hindi po sila naka-cope up.
Mm.
So technically other when we say comorbidities po kasi other diseases, kumbaga meron kang hypertension. Hypertension is not only seen in elderly, you can see it in
Oh,
other
yes.
in a vast age
Mm.
range. So technically po, anyone who has diseases or
Oo.
anything na infection na kunwari may that causes your immune system to be weakened, you are more susceptible or more vulnerable
Mm.
to the infection. Yun po.
No, I got it na, Joms, no. So, yung mga viewers natin diyan kaya pala as explained by Sir Jomar, no. Kaya pala minsan pag nagkaroon tayo ng virus or any foreign body sa foreign na ano tawag doon, Joms? Foreign matter.
Technic
Sabi natin foreign
Yeah.
matter.
Mm-mm.
Foreign matter sa katawan natin, nilalagnat tayo, sinisipon tayo. Kasi nga, ang nangyayari is that nilalabanan ng katawan natin yung yung sakit. Yung
Mm-mm.
sakit na yon. So, buti pa daw yung virus may kapatid. So, may pamilya sila, bro. Sila yung buong pamilya na nag-i-invade, gusto nilang conquer ang buong mundo. So,
Yes.
technically, mga viewers po natin, no, kailangan po talaga natin na na pag meron tayong nakitang symptoms na gano'n, of course, we don't need, tama ba yun, Joms? We don't need to go directly sa hospital.
Yes
Kailangan muna
po.
nating i-observe, tama ba? So,
Opo.
mamaya, as we go through the latter part nung itong interview natin and lecture the same time, we will go through kung ano yung mga kailangan nating gawin when we see those symptoms and kung sino yung mga tao na pwede nating kontakin pag meron tayong nakuhang symptoms. Okay?
Yes.
So, paano nangyari, Joms? Pwede mo ba kaming kwentuhan pa kung ano na yung nangyari dito sa mga virus na to, kung paano sila nag-mutate or ano pa yung mga nangyari. Kasi parang yung nabanggit mo na bumalik sila.
Okay po. So, sabi nga natin kanina 'di ba na ito yung yung coronaviruses pero kaya nga ni MacArthur sabi nila I shall return. So, maybe you are
Tama.
wondering bakit ko sinasabing they shall return. Okay? Bakit ko sinasabing they shall return? Actually, this was very surprising po. There was an article na was released 2007 pa. And this is actually 13 years ago. So,
Wow.
kung titignan natin ngayon, nakalagay po dito na sinabi doon sa recommendation po, kung makikita nyo. Again, I can give
Sige,
you the link of
message.
this journal. Actually, hindi siya nag-work ng ganun sa... Ayan,
Talaga.
so...
Sige. Okay lang.
po. So, on the lower part, maybe you can see doon sa bandang baba na sabi po dito na yung coronavirus po, yung coronavirus are actually going to recur at any period of time kung hindi po tayo mag-stop
Wow.
dun sa mga culture na nakasanayan natin. It really talks about a lot of things when it comes to culture eh. So,
Oh.
having read this journal, ma-realize natin na yung yung dinadanas natin actually right now are actually um a consequence or a product of the culture that we still
Hmm.
tolerate or that we still embrace up to this day. So what
Wow.
happened is, sabi ko nga
So,
kanina, yes po,
okay, go ahead. So, nabasa ko
ah,
dito, Joms, na even pala 13 years ago, nakalagay
yes,
dito na pwede siyang the presence of a large reservoir of SARS-CoV-like viruses in horseshoe bats
yes po.
together with the culture of eating exotic mammals in southern China. So talagang parang prophecy na nga itong ginawa nitong journal na to sa mga mangyayari ngayon. But eventually, sabi dito na pag hindi daw natin, pag in-ignore daw natin, ganun nga yung mangyayari.
Yes po. So,
So,
yung very important po na during those time po kasi may tinatawag kasi tayong re-emergence po ng mga viruses eh. Technically, babalik
re-emergent.
po talaga sila. Kasi technically
Hmm.
po, mag-mutate, magbabago. So talagang
Hmm.
makakabalik po sila. So one thing po kasi na they are actually suggesting is to really stop yung pagkakaroon ng wildlife market in China para
Hmm.
hindi na po magkaroon ng cross contamination or cross species na ang nangyayari po, tumatalon technically yung inyong mga viruses from one species to another species. So, that is very, very, very common. So, having said that, right now, talagang, it was already predicted already na sooner or later, your infections, your SARS-CoV will actually come back anytime soon. So, napakahalaga po talaga na um we actually prevent those things that could actually cause yung cross contamination. So, having said that now na pag-usapan na natin kung ano yung SARS-CoV, na pag-usapan na natin yung cause nung disease. Let's go deeper now to the disease itself, your coronavirus disease
Okay.
of 2019 or your COVID-19. So, COVID-19 is again a disease caused by your SARS-CoV-2. I hope that's very clear right now para we can actually inform other people para tama yung mga definition and terms na ginagamit natin. So
Hmm, that's good.
coronavirus disease 2019 is a respiratory illness that can spread from animal to person, and now it is very much known that your COVID-19 can also be transmitted from person to person. So,
Oh.
yan po
So
yung
technically,
COVID-19 natin.
Joms,
Yes po.
dati, tama ba yun? Tama ba yung pagka-gets ko na dati hindi siya nagta-transmit from person to person originally before siya mag-mutate?
Um, technically po, technically po, wala pang person to person noon kasi wala pang
Hmm.
taong may virus or may
Okay.
SARS-CoV-2.
That's clear.
Technically po, dati
Yeah.
yung SARS-CoV-2 natin was only confined to animals. So technically, sila lang yung
Hmm.
meron. So ang transmission lang noon is animal to person. Now that
Hmm.
personal are also infected, nagkakaroon na tayo ng ano ngayon po, ng transmission from one person to another person. So yun po
Hmm.
yung ano niya.
Okay. So thank you. Thank you, John. So you can continue back.
Ayan. So going back now dun sa ano natin, sa COVID-19 po natin, one very important thing and maybe one thing that is concerning a lot of people is that how is your COVID-19 being transmitted from animal to a person or from person to person, which is now being experienced by a lot of people. So again, gaya nga
Hmm.
po nung
Okay.
sabi ko kanina, it can be transmitted to animal to person. So either direct contact from that animal or um, kapag nag-consume ka ng uncooked or partially cooked animal carcasses or ng bat.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
kapag kumain ka ng hilaw, pwedeng matransfer sa'yo yung viruses that is actually present in that particular animal. Aside from that, what we actually know right now is that there is a person-to-person transmission. So, close contact with one another, approximately 6 feet. Sabi nga nila, we are maintaining 1 meter physical distancing
Wow.
from one another.
Oo.
So that is one example of transmission. So specifically, how
Okay,
does
so
your yes po?
yes. Yung pala yung ano, so mga viewers natin, no? Yung pala yung theory or I mean yung scientific fact behind dun sa social distancing, yung around 6 feet. Kasi nga, yun yung transmission rate, hindi, transmission distance, effective.
Yes po.
Kumbaga sa mga naglalaro ng mga games, ang tawag dyan is AOE, area of effect ng virus. Okay. Thank you,
Yes
Joms,
po.
for that.
So, usually po, kaya dinidiscourage yung close contact talaga is because yung virus natin primarily is being transmitted through respiratory droplets. So, what do we mean by
Mm,
respiratory droplets? So, whenever you speak,
yeah.
hindi mo man napapansin yung may tumatalsik na mga droplets out of your mouth or out of
Yeah.
your nose. So, when you sneeze, when you cough, when you talk, you can actually expel a lot of droplets. And in those droplets, doon naka-contain, doon contaminated yon ng SARS-CoV-2 natin. So it actually contains your
Oh,
virus. Yes po.
yes.
So it's
Good.
very important really talaga to follow your to follow our government, the DOH when it comes to that, because right now what we actually observe in the Philippines is already local transmission. So technically
Mm,
po, wala silang, pag sinabi kasi nating local transmission, there are actually no exposure to any person, direct exposure to a person with COVID-19, or hindi sila pumunta sa mga bansa na may mga ano, may positive or may mataas po na rate ng coronavirus. So, having said that, now our
mm,
going back to our transmission, it can actually now, according to studies po, it can actually survive to surfaces. That's why one good example is
surfaces.
also to disinfect. Yes, to disinfect yung mga surfaces natin, yung mga, kung
Mm,
mapapansin nyo po, di ba, nagkaroon sila ng mga nationwide clean up drives when it comes to when when it comes to
mm,
COVID-19. So, maybe one thing that I want to clear right now, na a very good time
okay.
to check our fact, is that COVID-19 is not airborne. Okay? So, hindi po siya airborne. Although, sinasabi natin na it can be transmitted through air droplets, transmission through air droplets is different from airborne transmission. So, there are actually a lot of studies right now po kasi na nagsasabi na your COVID-19 can actually survive in
Mm,
air. Meron ang nagsabi within 3 hours, within 8 hours. But I just want to clear na yung ini-issue po ngayon ng WHO na airborne precaution are for the hospital or for the confined environment na may mga positive cases tayo ng coronavirus. So, yun po yung yun po yung isang important na kailangan natin i-clear so that we can eliminate yung takot, yung fear and confusion that we are actually having right
mm,
now. So again, your COVID-19, your SARS-CoV-2 is
mm.
not airborne. Although the
To emphasize na,
DOH, yes po. Ayan. So, trying to emphasize now when it comes to our airborne, pagdating po sa airborne, your SARS-CoV-2 is not airborne. Although, again, I just want to clear, in hospitals, in our, um, in a setting na confined po, when I say confined, walang proper ventilation, wala tayong proper ventilation. It is suggested to practice or to observe airborne precaution. So, napaka-importante po nun. So, again, as of the moment, we don't have data
mm,
or evidences to say that COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2 is already airborne. One reason na sinasabi ng scientific community is that yung virus itself, masyado siyang malaki, masyado siyang mabigat to stay long sa air. So technically po hindi siya nakaka-survive ng matagal sa air. So technically, syempre 'di ba, pag may pinalutang kang isang bagay na mabigat, law of gravity, it will fall down. So technically, it will
Gotcha.
quickly fall on your floor, on your surfaces.
Mabigat.
That's why mas mas mabigat po siya. So technically, what we are actually encouraging people is to disinfect their places. Kasi yun po yung ano talaga. Yun po yung mas technically mas alam natin at mas sigurado natin na
Okay.
transmission po ng disease. Yes po.
Oo.
So medyo choppy yata, medyo erratic yung connection mo tayo.
So, okay. So, di ba, ni Joms kung gaano ka daw,
Yes po.
am I,
Um,
am I,
naririnig po kita. Ayan. So, while waiting po kay Tata Junyo for his question, so if you have any questions or any clarifications that you want to make, you can actually comment that in our comment box down below so that you will be able to interact with us right now. So, we actually have a question. Would environments, specifically enclosed areas, can be attributed to transmission? Can be attributed to transmission? Yes po.
meron tayong tanong, Joms?
So, that's one reason. Yes nga po. Opo. So, can enclosed areas be attributed to transmission? Technically, that's the very reason why we have local transmission or community transmission already. Ang nangyari po kasi niyan, 'di ba? Kunwari enclosed po yung environment, may pasyente ka, umatching, umubo, yung droplets po na yon magfo-fall siya sa mga surfaces. So technically, yes, your environment can actually play a factor in the transmission of your SARS-CoV-2. Ayun. So if you still have other questions, you can type it down below so that we can answer it right away. So we just want to, ayan. So if you have other questions, are you connecting na, Tay? Okay, so we're just having some technical difficulties,
I
but
am,
ayan. But let me go ahead so I hope na that is something we cleared out this afternoon. But again, as of the moment with COVID-19, there is no scientific evidence that will link it to airborne transmission. So, if you have any questions, so feel free to just type it below so that we can just go back to this later. Okay? So when it comes to COVID-19, um, that I think was asking a while back regarding to incubation period. So your fever, your cough, your shortness of breath are symptoms of your COVID-19 that actually will appear approximately 5.2 days according to some articles. But according to the Centers of Disease Control or your CDC, generally, your COVID-19 can actually appear from 2 to 14 days. Okay? 2 to 14 days. So technically 14 weeks. 2 weeks 2 weeks pa lang you can actually experience the
hmm,
appearance or you can actually observe the appearance of your symptoms. This is the very reason why we have certain terms like your person under monitoring or person under investigation na sinasabi po that they should quarantine themselves, home quarantine, for approximately 2 weeks or 14 days. Kung wala naman pong any severe or any life-threatening symptoms or um, complications pa po silang na-observe. So, technically, the onset of your disease is 14 days. So, technically, yung disease mo, ma-observe mo, yung symptoms mo, mapapansin mo siya after 14 days. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin natin when it comes to the onset of your disease. So, what now are the signs and symptoms of your COVID-19? So, maybe this is very very important na mapag-usapan po natin. Okay? But before I discuss or before I go deeper to the signs and symptoms, again, I just want us to go back to coronavirus, the family of coronavirus. So technically, sabi natin, the family of coronavirus causes common colds or common flu. And kung mapapansin nyo po, the signs and symptoms are actually very general. Fever, cough, shortness of breath. You can actually experience that if you're actually experiencing just your common flu. That is the very reason why our Department of Health is actually suggesting na if you're having cough, fever, or shortness of breath, you try to self-quarantine first for 14 days or for a week. So kung manageable pa po technically yung mga signs and symptoms mo, you try to home quarantine. Okay, you try to stay at home and you don't just rush to the hospital immediately. Why? Because doon sa hospital, meron na tayong mga quote-unquote confirmed cases of your COVID-19. And you trying to go immediately to a hospital will automatically expose you to a sure or a known reservoir or a known case of your COVID-19. Kaya napaka-importante na you self-quarantine first. So, later on, I'll try to show you a checklist whereby you can actually try to assess yourself kung meron ka ng mga symptoms na yon right now. So, you can share it to other people. So, coming from our respective sources, your COVID-19 or your coronavirus 19 can actually, the most common symptoms are actually fever, fatigue, and dry cough. And if you're going to check right now, these symptoms are actually very much common when it comes to our um, this is actually very common when it comes to our common flu. Aside from that, you can actually experience body aches or myalgia and body pains, runny nose, sore throat, shortness of breath, and there are actually some reported cases of diarrhea. So technically, makikita nyo po ngayon right now that the sign and symptoms for your coronavirus are actually very general. So, we cannot isolate na, kapag naramdaman ko to, coronavirus, COVID-19 na agad. No. So, that's why you really have to self-quarantine first. You really have to really observe yourself first before actually concluding that it is already coronavirus disease 2019. So I hope it's clear to us mga kapatid na the
Mm.
signs and symptoms of your COVID-19 is actually very common to a lot of common flu. Kaya it is very
Oo.
much suggested that you do self-quarantine first. Typically po, if we have patient, what we want is to also monitor them if they still have that disease.
Okay, that's clear.
Ayan po. So, moving on now. So, maybe you're asking now, what about treatments? What about vaccines? Do we have treatment or vaccines now when it comes to COVID-19? Currently po, there are no treatment or
Mm.
vaccines approved
Oh,
already
oh,
or recommended by the WHO or the CDC or the FDA at the moment. So although there are already attempts or researches and studies going on when it comes to the treatment and vaccines at the moment. So, talaga pong let's join our scientists, our medical field, our medical practitioners in prayers as they actually do our testing po. So, right now,
mm.
this is actually the perfect time, even in the medical field. Dati po kasi, the medical field, we try to hide yung mga discovery mo para hindi makita
Mm.
ng iba. But this is actually one moment na
Good.
all scientists from different countries are actually working hand in hand, working together to really combat and finish this pandemic that we're experiencing right now. So, in any time
Mm.
soon, we are actually hoping and praying for a treatment and a vaccine. Although, right now, what we have are supportive treatment. So, technically
Mm.
po, kung ano yung symptoms,
Yeah.
ano yung nararamdaman ng pasyente, yun po yung technically
Na-address.
trinitreat, ina-address po natin. Yes po.
Okay, thank you.
So, we go now to so what we actually know when it comes to COVID-19, the current statistics when it comes to COVID-19. I saw one comment kanina na nagsabi na there was actually another case of COVID-19 in their subdivision, making it two
I
in
read that as well.
Zamboanga yata. I think that was Drake. So right now, so this is actually a data coming from the DOH. We actually have around 1,418 confirmed cases of coronavirus. And 929 of all the people na na-test po are actually negative. And I am actually showing this. This morning, I was actually having my breakfast and I actually heard one news that there was an additional 300 cases of
Wow.
coronavirus. And if you're the
Mm.
person listening to that, matatakot ka. Kasi sasabihin
Mm.
mo, ay bakit biglaan, ang dami
Biglang
agad,
dumami. Yeah.
biglang dumami agad. I just want you to look at the third row dun sa table natin. Cases
Mm.
pending test result. Technically po, may
Mm.
mga may mga hinihintay po tayong resulta ng mga pasyente natin. Kasi maybe some of you are asking, bakit pa nag-lockdown kung in a day,
Mm.
there's an additional 300 cases of COVID-19? And
That's good.
I just want to clear na meron po tayong biglaan or abrupt na shoot up in the cases because we have a lot of pending cases or pending test
Mm.
results na hinihintay
That's
natin.
clear.
And yes po, and
Ah.
that doesn't reflect of what we are doing right now. Kasi maraming nagsasabi, 2 weeks na ako nasa bahay, 2 weeks nang walang lumalabas,
Mm.
pero bakit patuloy na tumataas? Kasi po,
Okay.
again, patuloy po na dumadami yung natitest at
Mm.
na ko-confirm po natin. So technically, I just want us to be educated when it comes to the news that we are hearing kasi
Yes,
ako
that's good.
kung wala kang alam, narinig mo in a day 300 yung nadagdag. You will really be afraid na at any
Mm.
period of time I can actually be infected already. So
Mm.
kaya kaya po natin siya clear ngayon. So, I am actually reading another question regarding a biological weapon. I will actually address to that later on, which is a very interesting
Yeah.
question, by the way. So, keep your
Okay.
questions coming and we
Address
will
natin
actually
yun
try to
mamaya.
answer that later on. Okay? So, that is when it comes to your COVID-19. Again, I am giving you the link. So, I hope you can have the link and you can actually access that 24/7 so that you will
Thank
actually
you
be
for that.
guided properly. So again, wag po
Yes.
tayong maniwala sa mga fake news, maniwala po tayo sa mga news that are coming from our authorities. Okay,
Yeah.
so, ayan. So, siguro this is a perfect time to answer the question a while
Question.
back. Yes, before I go to the different prevention. So, there was a very interesting question. Sabi dito, what is my take about some
Anonymous. Anonymous
critics?
yan.
Anonymous daw.
Yeah.
So, hindi na natin ipapakilala kung sino. Hindi ko kasi nakikita kung sino. Sabi niya,
Hindi ko rin
what
nakita.
is what is my opinion daw when it comes to COVID-19 being used as a biological weapon? Is it possible? Let me first answer yung possibility of using your SARS-CoV-2 as a possible biological weapon. Yes, it is possible. Actually,
Mm.
any known disease can be used as a biological weapon.
Yes.
Be it your Ebola, be it your measles, mumps, any disease that you can think
Mm.
of, pwede nating i-isolate yung virus, yung bacteria, yung parasite that is causing that disease and harness it
Mm.
to become a biological weapon. So
Yes.
technically, bakit biological weapon? So technically, kasi kapag nag-infect ka lang ng isang community, technically,
Mm.
mapapatay mo sila without technically having to deploy your army, deploy or
Yeah.
yung mga ammunition mo. So technically, tipid na war ito. Okay?
Mm.
So,
Mm.
to answer the possibility if you can actually use it, yes, it is possible. But my take right now when it comes to sasabihin na nating a scientific assumption, a scientific a scientific guess or a hypothesis when it comes to this. My take on this being if it is actually a biological weapon, um, I, I am a kind of person that will not accuse a person. So it is
Yeah. That's good.
possible, but I am not trying to say that it is actually an attempt of any person
Mm.
or any country to spread their SARS-CoV-2 as a
Mm.
biological weapon. That's
Okay.
why I am leaning on answering the possibility. You can use it as a biological weapon. But to answer it right now, maybe this is not the perfect or the perfect, although a lot of people, a lot of authorities are, you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about that. um in
Mm.
the scientific community, we have this thing called biosecurity and biosafety.
Wow.
So when we say biosafety kasi, we are trying to protect the community against a particular pathogen. On the other hand, we are
Mm.
also are protecting the biological agent, the possible biological weapon against people who might use it in a wrong or a very in a wrong manner. So with wrong
Mm.
intention. So technically po,
Uh-huh.
um technically I am answering and not answering your question because
Yeah. That's
I
good.
cannot be absolute with the statement that what's happening right now is a biological war. It's not.
Mm.
Kasi
It's not.
there is actually a there is actually a there is first and foremost, there is no one na umaako or that is saying na they're actually doing this as a biological attack. So when it comes to COVID-19 being a biological weapon, again it is possible, but as of the moment I believe that is not the million dollar question eh. It is not the million
Yeah.
dollar question whether or not it is a biological or a war already that is going on. For me, that is not the million dollar
Mm.
question as of the moment. The million dollar
Uh,
question is to find out the treatment and the possible vaccine that we can actually have to really end this
uh,
pandemic that we're experiencing right now. So
siguro, Joms,
having yes po.
okay, yung nagtanong siguro, mahilig manood ng Kingdom o kaya yung mga movies na about mga ganyan. But
Yes.
seriously, that's a good answer. Kasi this
Mm-mm.
is not the time, again, this is not the time to blame somebody, to blame other people for other people's misfortune. But this is the time for unity. This is the time for us, even the whole scientific community, para magtulong-tulong talaga. And even as ordinary citizen of the Philippines, we can do a lot. Kung sabi nga
Yes
nila
po.
dati, no, dati yung mga tambay sa bahay, kinakainisan. Pero ngayon, ang dami daw, shout out kay P. Mike, sabi ni P. Mike, ngayon daw, yung mga tambay, hinahangaan na niya. Kasi sobrang
Tama.
hirap talagang tumambay sa bahay.
Yes.
So, grabe, makakatulong tayo by simply, literally doing nothing. Stay at home, huwag tayong lumabas ng bahay, huwag tayong magpasaway. And hopefully, after this, ano natin, no, this community quarantine talagang hindi man natin ma-flat out agad yung curve, sinasabi natin nilang flattening the curve, at least magkaroon ng significant difference between dun sa dun sa cases ng coronavirus.
Yes, yes. So, yun nga po. So, kaya nga sinasabi ko kanina, going back to my statement na this is not the million dollar question right now. Pero siguro
Yeah.
magtataka kayo, Kuya Jomar, if we're not gonna think of that, baka kasi maging passive tayo, wala tayong gagawin. But you can actually do some preventive measures, which now
Yeah.
would lead me to the things that I want to share this afternoon ulit are the prevention for your COVID-19.
These are
So,
the practical ways.
yes, yung practical ways that you can actually do inside your home. So, right now the DOH actually advised the public to do proper and frequent hand washing. So, technically po, yung paghuhugas ng kamay ay napakahalaga. You're not just trying to prevent
Oh.
COVID-19, and this is actually a practice that we should carry on even after this pandemic. Kasi maraming
Mm.
sakit yung maiiwasan natin if we're actually practicing proper hand washing. So technically, bago
Oh.
ka kumain, bago ka makisalamuha, if galing ka sa labas, you actually practice hand washing. So this is very important. So may tama
Mm.
rin pong paghuhugas ng kamay. Again, if you want to watch that, I will be linking the DOH hand washing inside in our comment box. At talagang ako personally po, we are teaching this to our students at minsan ito na yung LSS namin. So technically, siguro ito yung magandang LSS ninyo ngayong quarantine period para LSS na natututo ka pa. 'Di ba? So
That's
in the
good.
absence po of soap, we can also use your sanitizers and alcohol. Again, 70% alcohol is the best
Mm.
na nagamitin po as aseptic methods po na gagawin natin. So aside from hand washing, aside from using your sanitizers and alcohol, one thing that you can also do is to practice cough etiquette. Okay? So may tinatawag po
Hmm.
tayong proper cough
May
etiquette.
tanong pala ako, Joms, dun sa
Yes po.
ano natin kanina, no, hand washing. So may mga nagpapatanong, pati po ba yung paliligo kasama po ba dun sa ano? Kasi ang sinasabi lang po ng DOH, hand washing
Hand
lang. So for
washing.
the past 14 days, hand washing lang daw talaga yung ginagawa nila. So pati ba daw paliligo makakatulong?
Of course, yes po. Part na po 'yan ng ano, part na po 'yan ng personal hygiene. Mapapansin mo
Okay,
baka
guys. Yeah.
bakit hindi
Nasagot ko
1
na yung
meter.
tanong ng marami sa inyo.
Yes, you have to take a bath. Okay, in short.
Take
So
a
you have
bath.
to take a
Okay.
bath. So technically mapapansin mo bakit hindi na kaya 1 meter yung yung distance ng ibang tao. Baka kasi nangangamoy ka na, 'di ba? So talagang lumalayo na
Ayun.
sila
Pala.
sa iyo. So you really
So,
have to
bawal lumabas ng bahay, pero pwedeng maligo, guys.
Yes, exactly. Yes po. So aside from hand washing, aside from that, proper cough etiquette. So, lagi po natin sinasabi, di ba, na you always cover your mouth or your nose with panyo or tissue or kunwari, you were caught by surprise tapos mahahatching ka. Ito yung tinatawag nating dub, okay? Yung dub na talagang you can actually do this. Di ba ito
Ayun.
yung sinasabi nilang dub? You can actually cough and sneeze on your elbow para na
Naman
ko-contain mo
pala.
yung droplets. Yes, ito yung tinatawag nilang dub. So, yan. Ayan yung dub natin. So, you can actually do that and actually prevent the spread not only of COVID-19 but other diseases as well. So, aside from that, iwasan din po natin yung pagiging yung pag-spit or pagdura kung saan-saan.
Ako,
So,
yan yung dapat talagang iwasan natin mga
eh,
Pinoy.
kasi po, technically, having said na nag-stay po siya sa surfaces, so dapat talaga we also avoid spitting kung saan-saan. So aside from that, syempre, kung gumamit ka ng panyo, kung gumamit ka ng tissue, you also have to dispose them properly. And of course, kunwari, na ito yung pinangtakip mo, again, babalik po tayo dun sa proper hand washing and sanitation.
Okay.
So napaka-importante po niya. So,
Okay.
what else can we do
Alright.
right now as prevention for COVID-19? So marahil marami sa inyo nagtatanong, 'di ba, umaga't araw nang nakahiga nanonood ng kung ano yung pwede mong gawin. You can actually maintain at least 1 meter away from individuals manifesting with flu-like symptoms. So kung
Yeah.
may napapansin ka, nakikita ka ng mga tao na may symptoms na sinasabi natin kanina, you can actually practice physical distancing from that person muna. And also, advise that person, kung ikaw naman yon, it's also our initiative to do self-quarantine already. So, kung
That's good.
punta ka sa kwarto, punta ka sa sa kwarto mo, maybe some are asking, paano po pag wala akong kwarto? May ka-share ako sa kwarto or I'm inside my house, talagang hindi po maiiwasan na makahalubilo ko sila. That's the time now that you do reverse isolation. What do I mean by reverse isolation? Kung
Reverse
dati na
isolation.
Yes po, kung dati nauubos yung mask kasi lahat ng tao magmamas, ang maganda pong practice right now is ang magmask po are yung mga tao or our patient that are actually manifesting a particular disease. Ayan.
That's
So,
good.
a particular disease. So, technically, pag inuubos sinisipon, ikaw na magmask para ma-protect mo yung ibang tao in your surroundings. Okay?
Okay.
So, that's also what's being done right now in the hospitals. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo po, hindi na nagpa-practice na nagmamas yung mga doktor, mga mga ibang mga frontliners natin before kasi sometimes kapag napapansin po ng mga pasyente namin dati na nakamask kami, feeling nila pinandidirihan sila ng mga doktor, ng mga nurse, ng mga medtech. So ang ginawa na lang po to reverse that mentality, ni-reverse po natin yung isolation. Sila po yung magmamas. Okay?
Okay, that's good.
Ayan. So aside from that po, ayan. So avoid unprotected contact with farm or wild animal. Alive man po 'yan or patay. So it's very important to protect ourselves from those animals. So animal market, yung mga namimili po right now, also practice yung hygiene po. And any products that are coming from the animals, you have to properly cook them. Again, properly cook them, you're not only preventing COVID-19, but you're also preventing other diseases that could actually be present in your rare or half-cooked, yung mga hilaw po nating mga pagkain. Okay?
Mm.
And moving
Thank
on,
you, Josh,
we,
for
sh-
that.
we should also ensure food is well cooked, yung sinasabi ko nga po. And of course, maintain a healthy lifestyle. At mag-uumpisa yan sa may nakita kong comment, sabi dito, ligo-ligo din. So, you really have to maintain a
Tama.
healthy lifestyle.
Ligo.
Yes. You have to maintain a healthy lifestyle, drink your
Okay.
vitamins. Ayan, drink your vitamins, take a bath every
So,
day.
pagdating sa
Yes po.
pagkain ng gulay, mare-recommend mo ba siya?
I am recommending, masama
Yeah.
masama man po sa loob ko. I am recommending eating vegetables. But
Yeah.
ayan, kaya nga po tayo may multivitamins. Kung if you're not getting
Mm.
enough from your diet, you can actually have your multivitamins. Ayan po.
Plus, I wanna
So,
talk about all the 12 jobs na yung
yes
sa
po.
ano din, pag sinabi natin kasing lifestyle, it's not just about the food. It's not just
Yes.
about sa kinakain natin, but also the way we sleep. Ilang oras ba tayo natutulog? Baka naman in the season na pinoprotektahan talaga natin yung sarili natin when it comes to social distancing. Tayo naman yung nako-compromise kasi lagi tayo nagpupuyat. Nagbi-binge watch tayo ng Netflix, tapos kung ano na yung ginagawa natin sa gabi. So, hindi rin nakakatulong sa immune system natin. Plus, isa nga sa mga nabanggit din, Joms, is that kailangan din nating i-reduce yung stress natin. Kasi even stress in itself is causing our immune system para mas bumaba, para yung immune system natin
Exactly.
mas ma-compromise. So, pag bumaba yung immune system natin, ang nangyayari sa atin is that magiging prone tayo sa COVID-19.
Yes, not only COVID-19, so to speak, but
And
all other
yeah.
diseases that are stress-related po.
Okay.
Ayan. So that's very important. So, again, if you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And of course, siguro ito yung isang bagay na siguro number one na prevention natin right now is really kung pwede naman pong maiwasan, kung pwede namang gawin, just really stay at home. Okay? Just really stay at home and try to contribute by helping flattening the curve right now. So, siguro nagtataka kayo bakit ba kasi may enhanced community quarantine. It's for the reality that the overall population of the Philippines right now is 109 million Filipinos. Okay? We're actually 109 Filipinos right now. And our bed capacity, kapag lahat tayo nagkasakit, hindi tayo kakayanin ng lahat ng hospital sa buong Pilipinas. So, that's very important po.
So I think Joms, part yun nung question nung natin, nung isa nating listener. Sabi niya dito, from the onset of this pandemic, where do you see Philippine medical groups or experts a frontliner in discovering cure? Do we have enough resource locally and support from global health org? So yun yung question niya.
Ayan po. I can actually, ito yung question nung ating Facebook friend. Anonymous Facebook friend. So, let me read it. Where do you see Philippine Medical Group? What do you mean na kung saan nakikita? Nasaan sila?
I mean, siguro, gaano tayo ka-prepared? I think that's the question.
If actually I would be real, the data was out in the WHO website and I was actually part of a training January 7 pa lang po. Alam na ng scientific community that there is a novel coronavirus. How prepared is the government? That should actually be the question. Kasi right now we actually don't have any law or any ordinance talking about pandemic response, talking about, yes, we have crisis response team, but those are reactionary those are reactions already. Reactionary lang nandito na, so kailangan na lang natin talagang magkaroon ng So answering your kung if we actually have a medical group or experts na trying to discover the cure, to be exact, we actually have the National Health Institute, your NIH, National Institute of Health, your NIH, that actually one of the pioneer na nag-contribute po doon sa, kung mapapansin nyo, di ba, the University of the Philippines was able to come up with a testing kit for your coronavirus. This is, yes, to tell you honestly, there are a lot of minds capable of doing it here in the
In the
Philippines. What we
Philippines.
act
Wow.
Yes. To answer now the second question, do we have enough resource locally? That is the question right now. We don't,
Mm.
to tell you frankly and straight, we don't have enough resources. That's why a lot of good researchers, Filipino researchers are actually going abroad to study, to do their researches there because right now, 'di ba kung mapapansin niyo nga po, maraming memes and the internet going around that
Yeah.
some of our senators are actually questioning the scientific community on why we are so addicted to researches or why do we love researches.
Yeah.
But a lot of people po right now are realizing the importance of researches and not only
That's good.
researches but taking the researches seriously kasi babalik ako dun sa ipinakita ko kanina 2007 pa lang po it was already been suggested
Yeah.
recommended to really
I
cut
heard
off
that
those
journal.
culture. So kung tutuusin po, there are a lot of avenues where we can improve. And I hope right now na-realize po ng government natin, na-realize din po ng mga Filipinos that we actually have to focus on healthcare. Kasi
Yes.
at the end of the day, kahit gaano kakayaman, if you don't have good health, if you don't have your health, that will be all nothing. So, technically, to answer again your question, do we have enough resources? I hope we do have. I don't have the statistics, the exact
Numbers.
or the exact numbers when it comes to that. But right now, the good thing
Mm.
about this is that it doesn't have to come to us locally. Hindi naman kailangan Pilipino yung maka-discover ng gamot. Okay? So anyone in globally, ayan, for they can actually fund anything. So yun po. I hope I was able to answer that sa inyo.
So, thank
So,
you. Thank you, Joms, for that question. So, dyan papasok talaga yung role natin as a responsible individual ngayong season
yes.
na to. Kasi nga, yun nga, kaya din talaga pinush yung enhanced community quarantine natin. Is that alam ng government din yung capacity ng healthcare system natin, ng mga hospitals natin. So that, kaya talaga in-enforce yung lockdown, technically yung lockdown, for us to really be at home at hindi na talaga lumaganap. Kung meron mang mga cases na na nag-a-arise ngayon, yun na yung mga controlled. I mean,
Mm,
medyo limited na siya compared kung hindi nag-enhance community quarantine yung buong Luzon. That will
yes
be
po.
that the ball game will be different if hindi talaga tayo nag-EQC. So it's
Yes
time to
po.
help the government. Yeah.
Exactly. Opo. So, ayun nga po, no. So, having said that now, I'll proceed. Actually, I'm nearing the end of my topic right now. So, if you have any questions, feel free to to just comment it down para po masagot po natin. So ito po yung infographics po natin when it comes to prevention of COVID-19. Maybe this is also very important for us right now na everyone is all in the social media. You try to share as many infographics that you can every day para lahat ng tao informed, lahat ng tao aware. And also, again, siguro one very important thing that we should remember here is that to share those only that are from reliable sources. Huwag magkalat ng fake news. Okay? So, ayan. So, actually, that's it right now. So, that's the end of
Mm.
my talk right now. So, thank you very much actually for this. So, right now we're opening the floor for more questions that you
One more
have.
question.
Yes, so
So
you
again,
can
this is
actually
Noah series.
this is
Iba
part
na
of
ang
our
may
NOAAs.
alam.
Mm,
Noah series.
exact.
So, i-plug ko lang, no, for the next few days, meron tayong mga hindi may special guests, but within the network na talagang we will ask them to share so that magkaroon tayo ng awareness of course, sa mga kasama natin sa network, but also dun sa mga situations, sa current realities na
Yes.
pinagdadaanan natin from day-to-day basis. And of course, pakita mo nga ulit yung Joms, yung yung YouTube page mo.
Ah,
At sana yung i-plug natin, take this time to plug your YouTube page.
So
So,
this,
if you're blessed dito sa talk na ito, like, share, and subscribe Jomar Adams at I think this is YouTube, right?
yes po.
This is YouTube. So, search nyo lang Jomar Adams, i-like niyo yung mga video. And I don't know if even this video will be part nung, ano niya, no? Nung, nung playlist niya, nung profile niya. But please subscribe to that channel so that marami tayong matutunan. He will upload some lectures na, yung lecture niya sa Trinity, sa school na pinagtuturuan niya, binabayaran yun. But if we subscribe to his page, we watch his videos, like and share them, matututo na tayo even without really paying for the content that he's sharing to us. So, thank you so much, Joms, dun sa ano natin. So, meron nata tayong tanong?
Meron
Wala.
po ba?
Wala pa
Wala.
namang tanong. Wala pa namang
So,
tanong. So, Joms, ako.
yes po.
Siguro any final words na gusto mong i-share dun sa mga online viewers natin this afternoon before we end?
So, ayun nga po, no. So, right now, when it comes to our battle when it comes to COVID-19, it's very important po ngayon na iba na yung sinasabi nga natin kanina, iba na yung may alam kasi if you actually have the right informations, you will actually be acting properly and you will not actually panic kung ano yung
Right.
nangyayari around you right now. So, it's very important for us to really understand kung ano yung COVID-19, ano yung disease na ito, ano nga ba the real things about it, and hopefully after this talk you would actually be armed with legit informations right now when it comes to COVID-19.
Yeah.
And yun talaga, at the end of the day, it's very important sa atin na it's very important sa atin to really do our part right now sa pag-flatten ng curve. Maybe you're wondering wala kang magawa. Staying at home, that in itself is a very, very good help, not only for the government but for everyone around you right now. So I actually saw a question right now. Ayan po.
Okay.
We have a question eh. So, coming from Cyrus Ignacio. So, would cremation for the deceased COVID-19 patient the best medical way to avoid transmission? It is ethical to impose.
Unethical.
Okay. Is it unethical to impose? It's not unethical to impose it because again, technically po we're trying to minimize the transmission of disease. Kasi example po, if you have a COVID positive patient and you have to embalm them, kailangan mo pa i-embalsa mo, you're again exposing
Yeah.
more individuals to that particular patient. Whether it is disease kasi, kunwari makontract mo lang, syempre po, when you're trying to embalm, there's physical contact again with that person.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to eliminate po kasi is that to avoid any person being exposed doon sa, I know sounds daw. Can you hear us now?
Narinig kita, Joms.
Ayan.
Okay na daw. Baka sa kanya lang.
So ayun po, going back, what we are trying to do is to really limit the person who will be exposed to anyone positive with COVID-19, whether it is living or already deceased, kailangan po iyaano natin. So, for me, it is not unethical to impose cremation. Okay? Although, yes, syempre, hindi naman po natin mapipilit, but we would actually recommend to do cremation instead of yung usual na lamay na libing, again to eliminate possible spread pa po ng disease natin. So thank you for that question.
Thank you for that question. And again, if there's someone of us listening to this video, kasi we don't know where will this video be going after this one. So hopefully nga, mas maraming tao na makapanood, makapakinig so that they will be informed. But if in case that your family lost a loved one, again, we offer our sincere condolences. But during this time of crisis nga, we should also consider yung buong community when it comes to such thing. So given the normal circumstances, wala naman sigurong mag-i-impose either cremate or regular burial man yung ibibigay natin sa loved one natin. But during this time, we need to really have act quickly, act yung talagang more logical and medically legitimate na mga solutions so that we can prevent the spread of diseases from one person to another. And talagang literally, ito nga yung hashtag natin, that is to flatten the curve pagdating sa sa COVID-19. So may questions about tayo, John?
Wala.
So far, wala na.
Wala.
So, wala naman ang question. So maybe ako naman yung isa sa mga reflection ko dito sa talk natin. And again, even me, ako personally, kahit na nakita ko yung PowerPoint mo, nakita ko yung mga ipe-present mo, na ang dami kong natutunan, especially dun sa jobs, dun sa mga checklist. I mean, sa score sheet na pagdating sa na even pala tayo, pwede tayong mag-self-diagnose during this time. Kasi nga, mas critical na pag pumunta tayo ng hospital directly para lang magpa-check up, baka dun pa tayo ma-out. So, importante pala yung checklist na yan. And again, sa mga viewers natin, it will be uploaded. And I think that is also available sa DOH website, right?
Yes po. You can actually access everything in DOH. Yes po.
DOH website. And again, pagdating sa ating mga Kristiyano, sa ating mga disciple, importante talaga na bukod dun sa faith na meron tayo, meron din tayong facts in hand. Yes. So that yung hindi naman magkaway kasi yung faith tsaka facts. Pagdating sa mga ganito, especially sa mga ganitong scenario, kailangan natin talaga na maging aware sa nangyayari sa surrounding natin. Hindi lang yan, for us also as disciple makers, as leaders, natututo din tayong i-address yung situation ng mga disciples natin. Hindi lang yung mga disciples natin. Even din yung mga family members natin na maybe they are worrying, they are wondering kung ano yung nangyayari sa kanila. Baka inuubo sila or sinisip lang din, nagpapanik na sila. Then para din makatulong din tayo sa kanila. Bukod dun sa faith na meron tayo, we have these facts na maipe-present natin sa kanila na, hey, you don't have to worry, you don't have to, kailangan lang nating maintindihan kung ano talaga yung COVID-19. So I think, Joms, that will be all for this afternoon. Sobrang naging productive. Sobrang naging,
thank you po.
Hopefully nakatulong din even sa live viewers natin yung mga napag-usapan natin ngayon. And hopefully, makatulong tayo bawat isa to flatten the curve pagdating dito sa COVID-19 natin na ito. And pinaka-best na magagawa natin, this is the only time that the best thing we can do is to do nothing. Just to stay at home, to follow our government pagdating sa mga precaution nila, wash your hands, strengthen your immune system. And I really, really believe that after this enhanced community quarantine, talagang meron talagang plano ang Lord pagdating sa ating lahat. Meron plano siya bakit inalaw niyang mangyari ito. And I believe that after this 30-day quarantine, talagang makatulong sa atin ito na naging better yung sarili natin. Hindi lang basta yung mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but also physically. Mas lumakas tayo kasi nga nagkaroon tayo ng tamang habits, nagkaroon tayo ng tamang lifestyle, and nagkaroon tayo ng tamang pagbavalue pagdating sa kalusugan natin. Okay? So this is Gino. And this is Jomar, and thank you for listening to our live broadcast. And again, we are Network on a Hill. We envision to live our best life at the top. And maraming pong salamat sa pag-listen sa broadcast na to. God bless everyone. Thank you for coming. And stay safe. Stay at home. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, guys.